Ever imagine yourself in one of those cool lab coats, surrounded by incredible plants, maybe even discovering like a new species or something?
It's a dream job for a lot of people.
Yeah, and today we're all about how to make that dream a reality. Talking botanical technician interviews and how to make yours stand out.
It's more than just being able to, tell your roses from your, what are those other ones? The purple ones.
Petunias.
Yeah, petunias. We're talking about the skills and the passion to impress those hiring managers.
And for this deep dive, we've got our trusty sidekicks, RoleCatcher's Career and Interview Guides.
Like having a botanical blueprint, these guides are awesome for navigating this whole career path.
Okay, so before we get into the interview questions, let's set the scene for our listener. What's the day-to-day of a botanical technician, really?
All right, so picture this. You're part of this team, right? And you're researching a new type of biofuel, but it's plant-based. Or maybe you're helping to cultivate some super rare orchid.
Like one they thought was extinct.
Exactly. Botanical technicians, they're the ones doing the experiments, analyzing the data, making sure all those plants are in tip-top shape. They're the backbone of plant science research.
So it's not just about having a green thumb. It's like serious research, high-tech stuff, right?
Absolutely. It's that scientific knowledge, hands-on experience, and a true passion for the plant world all in one.
I'm getting pumped up just hearing about it. So say you're browsing those job postings and you're like, this is it. RoleCatcher actually has this AI that analyzes your resume to help you stand out even more to those potential employers.
It's wild, right? Like this AI thing, it goes through job descriptions, figures out the important keywords, then helps you adjust your resume so those same words pop for the hiring manager.
Like a botanical boost for your resume. But let's be real, the interview is where the magic happens. RoleCatcher's interview guide gives us 9 key questions to focus on, so let's just dive right in. Question 1. Can you tell us about your experience with plant identification and taxonomy?
Time to flex those plant knowledge muscles. But don't just start listing every plant name you know.
So not like rose, daisy,
Yeah.
that tree with the laughs.
Right. They want to see you get the science behind it, the families, the genus, the species, that whole classification system.
So if our listener's thinking, okay, my plant knowledge is a little wilted,
Yeah.
how do they brush up before the interview?
Hit the books. Or the internet. There are some great plant ID guides out there, even good stuff online. It's amazing what you can learn these days.
So much knowledge at our fingertips.
Okay.
Question number 2, getting into the practical stuff now. What is your experience with plant propagation techniques?
How do plants make more plants? That's what they want to know. So you got to show off those different propagation methods you've used.
And the career guide is super helpful here, taking cuttings, for example.
Which, even if you've just got houseplants, you've probably tried that.
Totally. But the career guide goes deeper, talking about grafting, where you're like combining 2 plants to make a new one.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. But the point is, even if our listener hasn't worked in a professional setting yet, talking about, like, your home garden shows that genuine interest,
It's about connecting the dots, right? Theory and practice. Okay, question 3. This feels like a big one. How do you ensure the health and safety of plants in your care?
It's more than just keeping a cactus alive, that's for sure. They want to see you understand plant care, proper watering, disease identification, the whole 9 yards.
So it's like being a plant detective and a plant doctor.
Exactly. Think back to any challenges you've faced with your own plants. Did you have pests? A wilting mystery? How'd you figure it out?
Those plant problem-solving stories are gold in an interview.
Yeah.
Okay, question 4 takes us to the data side of things. Can you discuss your experience with data collection and analysis?
Plants might not talk, but their data sure does. They want to know you can collect it accurately, analyze it right, all that good stuff.
Which reminds me, the career guide mentions data analysis as like a, 63% match for this role?
Yeah.
So definitely important.
Huge. So think spreadsheets, databases, even just those notes you keep on your own plant projects.
Which I have a ton of, by the way, though. Mine are more like, I think I watered this one twice this week.
Hey, it all counts. It shows you're thinking analytically, even on a smaller scale. Okay, question 5 is all about staying current. How do you stay up to date with developments in botany and plant science?
Gotta love a good curveball question.
This is where passion really shines. Show them you're not just here for the paycheck. You genuinely geek out on plant stuff.
But how do you answer that without sounding like you're reciting some journal you've never actually opened?
Be real. What do you actually read, listen to, follow online? Do you have any favorite plant podcasts or something? Those are the things that make you a true plant enthusiast, not just someone trying to sound impressive.
It's like saying, I love plants so much I even listen to podcasts about them, which in this case is a good thing. Okay, question 6, switching gears to teamwork now. How do you communicate with other members of a research team or greenhouse staff?
Science is a team sport, right? They want to know you can explain your findings, work well with others, all that.
And this ties back to the communication skill from the career guide, which makes sense because you got to share that knowledge clearly, both talking and writing.
For sure. So think about a time you had to explain something kind of complex, maybe even about plants, to someone who didn't get it at first. How'd you make it click for them?
I like that. Question 7 takes on a bit more of a serious tone now. Have you worked with any rare or endangered plant species?
Time to show off that conservation knowledge. They're looking for that understanding of protecting those vulnerable plants.
But what if our listener hasn't actually worked with endangered species? Should they just be like, nope, never seen one?
Not necessarily. Honesty is always key, but you can still talk about your passion for conservation, maybe some research you've done, organizations you support, or even like a project that shows you care about biodiversity and stuff.
Showing that broader perspective beyond the lab. I like it. Okay, question 8. We're in the greenhouse now. Describe your experience with greenhouse management and maintenance.
Time to get practical. They want to see you can handle the day-to-day of keeping a greenhouse humming.
So more than just watering and weeding, I'm guessing it's the climate control, the lighting, all those systems working together.
You got it. Think about the small things you've done that demonstrate the principles, setting up a grow light for seedlings, figuring out the humidity for your ferns, stuff like that.
It's like you're creating this little plant paradise, right?
Mini ecosystems for the win.
Exactly. Okay, last question, but a good one. Can you discuss a time when you had to troubleshoot and solve a plant-related problem?
Story time. This is where they want to hear you think on your feet. How do you analyze a plant situation, get creative, and save the day?
So not just knowing the answers, but figuring them out. What makes a good story here?
Pick something that was a real challenge, right? Maybe a plant was on its last legs or an experiment went sideways. Walk them through how you fixed it.
And it's okay if you didn't get it right the first time. Learning from those mishaps is huge. Now, before we wrap up, I got to bring back the RoleCatcher AI one last time. Not just for resumes, but for acing those interview answers too, right?
It's like having a personalized coach, prepping you for each specific job. Say you're applying to 2 places, one's all about genetics, the other's greenhouse management. This AI tailors its feedback so you're highlighting the right skills for each one.
So instead of general tips, it's like, hey, for this job, mention that data analysis software you used. Super helpful.
Exactly. Gives you that extra edge.
Love it. Any last words of wisdom to calm those interview jitters?
An interview goes both ways. It's your chance to see if they're a good fit for you too. Go in curious, ask good questions, let your passion show.
Find that mutual plant love.
Exactly.
Well, I think we've armed our listener with some serious botanical knowledge today, thanks to the RoleCatcher guides.
They've got the career roadmap, the practice questions, even that AI secret weapon, they're good to go.
Turning passion into a career, that's what it's all about.
Yeah.
So as we wrap up this deep dive, one last thought. If you could work on any plant project, what would it be? New food source. Saving a rare species.
The possibilities are endless.
Keep exploring, keep learning, and never stop digging deeper. That's all from us for today.